All right, I'd like to call to order tonight's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. We'll start with Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation by Mr. Odell. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
O God, source of all wisdom and strength, you have entrusted us with the duty to serve others. Grant us the grace to do so with clarity, courage, and peace. Holy Spirit, guide our thoughts and words, and bless all those present. We place this meeting in your hands, trusting in Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Alrighty. Commissioner Lowndes,
Here.
Commissioner Odell,
Here.
Commissioner Neese,
Here, ma'am.
Vice Chair Slay,
Yes, ma'am.
Chair Benner.
Yes, ma'am.
We have quorum.
We have quorum. All right, do we have any announcements? Seeing
It's
none-
hot.
Agreed. Do we have any disclosures since agenda item B is quasi judicial? Seeing none, do we have approval of the minutes from the June 18th meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved by Mr. Odell, second by Mr. Lowndes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. This is a public meeting. If there's any member of the public with general comment towards the board that is not related to an agenda item, now please come up to the mic now. Also, if there's anybody that planned on speaking on the Pruitt Commerce Center, that is getting pushed and rescheduled due to a how it was noticed. If you did by chance come and wanted to speak on that specific item, please do that during public comment. Seeing none, we will go to the first agenda item, 9B.
Good evening, Chair Benner, members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. My name is Irene Settlemeyer. I'm a senior planner with the St. Lucie County Planning and Development Services Department. And tonight's public hearing is with regard to the request to rezone for the club at Indrio Creek and to consider the proposed preliminary regulating plan. This public hearing was properly noticed. A sign was erected on the property. Mailed notice was sent to all property owners within 500 feet. And of course, the advertisement appeared in the newspaper. We received one written comment from a neighbor, which I just came in about an hour ago, and I distributed it to you. So the property is 126 acres between Emerson Avenue and Seminole Road, about 800 feet, 1,000 feet south of Indrio Road. It is currently zoned AG1, which permits up to 1 dwelling unit per acre. It's in the towns, villages, and countryside future land use designation. The proposal is for a planned village, a rezoning from AG1 to PTV, Planned Towns and Villages. The property is inside the urban services boundary, eligible for, regional water and wastewater, and subject to different rules in the TVC than if it were outside the urban services boundary. It is in the airport overlay zone, so there is some potential for noise issues. It's not. There's not an issue with regard to any building height. So one of the core elements of the towns, villages, and countryside future land use designation is that the future land use, the residential densities that were permitted under the existing future land use designations prior to adoption of the TVC was carried forward. Those densities were carried forward and represented in this map called the Transferable Development Value Map. Most of the area, all the yellow, is the ag areas that had 1 dwelling unit per acre. The blue area is 2 dwelling units an acre. There are some limited areas, this red with 5 dwelling units an acre, and a smaller area 2 that had 9 dwelling units an acre, or the potential for that prior to adoption of the TVC, and that was carried forward. The 126 acres that are the subject of tonight's meeting is just about right here. Most of it is in the 2 dwelling unit per acre area, but it has some of it within the 1 dwelling unit per acre area. So here it is showing here. Here's some more of the areas that were 9 dwelling units an acre. Some of you may be familiar. This was the multifamily project, Indrio Woods. I think it was approved at about 7 dwelling units an acre. Over here is the 4540 North Kings Highway. It's approved at just about 5 dwelling units an acre. And then there were some areas that had commercial zoning previously and commercial future land use, and that carried forward. You can see here's the subject property roughly. Most of it's in the 2 dwelling units per acre, and there's a small area with 1 dwelling unit per acre. This is the proposed preliminary development plan. As shown on the legend, the dark green areas are proposed as created or restored native habitat. I'll talk more about that later. The pale yellow are proposed detached single-family houses, 50-foot wide lots and 60-foot wide lots. The pink area is townhomes. The flowway, which is at the control elevation, the expected lakes. Then there's 3 parks, two proposed lakes, a proposed park, and 2 civic building lots here. I didn't represent on the legend this yellow or marigold color. That is proposed countryside. It's somewhat equivalent to open space, not exactly equivalent to open space. So the proposed preliminary development plan provides for 375 dwellings, which are 246 townhomes and 129 single-family homes, 2 civic building lots, 2 clubhouses / amenity areas, a new east-west public street connecting Seminole and Emerson. That's this spine road here. That is consistent with the right-of-way protection plan and with the North County Future Street Network. They are proposing approximately 38 acres of common open space, including the flowway, the restored native habitat, park and recreation areas, landscape buffers, etc. They're dedicating right-of-way for Emerson Avenue and the construction of a small segment of Emerson Avenue and extension, beg your pardon. Dedication of right-of-way for Emerson Avenue and construction of a small segment of Emerson Avenue, and of course extension of water and sanitary sewer lines. So going back to the towns, villages, and countryside land development code, and some of the basics to be a village in the towns, villages, and countryside future land use. Each village shall consist of 1 neighborhood. The minimum land area inside the urban services boundary to be a village is 110 acres. This property has 126. The minimum countryside is 40%. The minimum density required in the net developable area is 5 dwelling units an acre. The net developable area is the total site less the countryside. So the idea is to transfer that density from the countryside into the core of the community, and the code actually requires a minimum density of 5 dwelling units an acre. So the proposed club at Indrio Creek meets these basic standards. So another core provision in the TVC code is the transfer of development rights. So you have that basic density, that one dwelling unit an acre, and in this case, some of it is 2 dwelling units an acre. The way that the TVC is designed to allow property owners to increase that density is to provide density multipliers for land area that's dedicated to certain preferred or encouraged uses. So for example, countryside is an encouraged use. Restoring or creating native habitat is a preferred use. So this is a hypothetical. I'm pretending we have 5 acres. We have 5 acres that has a base density of 1 dwelling unit an acre. And if those 5 acres are devoted to regular open space, or actually to residential development, you would get 5 units, 1 unit per acre. If you devote those 5 acres to countryside, you can take the development that would have occurred on those 5 acres and transfer it to another part of your property and apply a 1.75 multiplier. So if your if the use complies with the requirement to be countryside, for example, the flowway, the flowway qualifies as countryside. The park and recreation area qualifies as countryside. So when you preserve that land for that purpose or dedicate that land to that purpose, you can transfer the development rights and multiply them by 1.75. So if you dedicate 5 acres to countryside in the 1 acre base density, it yields 8.75 dwelling units. If you dedicate 5 acres of countryside, 5 acres of the land that has 2 dwelling units an acre as base density, and you dedicate it to countryside, the development rights or development credits that you transfer to the land that you are developing yields 17.5 units. So instead of 10 units, you're getting 17.5 because you're doing a preferred and encouraged use. Native habitat, the restoration or creation of native habitat is one of the highly encouraged uses of the land. Given that the land's mostly been cleared for agriculture, there's not a lot of remaining existing native habitats, so it's a highly encouraged use of land. So your density that gets transferred is eligible for a 2.5 multiplier. So again, 5 acres with a base density of 1 dwelling unit per acre, if it's dedicated to the creation or restoration of native habitat, it yields 12.5 dwelling units on the part that's to be developed. If you're dedicating 5 acres of land which has a base density of 2 dwelling units an acre to native habitat, your 5 acres yields 25 dwelling units. So I don't know if anybody, did I lose you or are you able, that's okay.
We're tracking.
Thank you. So the standards of review for a preliminary development plan are as follows. This is right out of the code in the staff report. Consistency with the land development code and the comprehensive plan. The effect on nearby properties. The adequacy of public facilities. The adequacy of fire protection. The adequacy of school facilities and the potential environmental impact. Staff has some concerns with regard to this plan and the consistency with land development code and the comprehensive plan. So there are several elements that have staff believes prevent it from recommending approval of this preliminary development plan, and they include the internal street connectivity and block size, the external street connectivity, the street and alley design, the eligibility for designation as countryside and restored habitat, and workforce housing. And I'll work through those. So with regard to internal street connectivity, the plan calls for, the comprehensive plan and the land development code calls for compact walkable development. And one of the means to achieve compact walkable development is to limit the size of blocks so that whether you're driving or riding a bicycle or walking, you have multiple routes to get where you want to go, and you don't have to go out of your way to get where you're going. So, like, for example, there are pedestrian paths, but for example here, like if there's a car here, in order to drive to that person's house, they drive here and they drive here and they drive here. Now, on a small scale, it might not seem like much, but if there were more streets, then people drive a little bit less. A bicycle travels a little bit further, a little bit less. So the code provides some concrete standards. The average perimeter of blocks may not exceed 1,500 feet. The maximum block perimeter is 2,400 feet. And the portion of a block between intersecting streets may not exceed 500 feet without a sidewalk or a trail providing access to another street. As in many parts of the TVC code, the applicant may propose minor modifications to these standards, and the board of County Commissioners shall decide whether to accept, modify, or reject such modifications. So this is the applicant's measurement of blocks, and they basically, every two buildings or so, they have considered a block. As I said in the staff report, the code doesn't expressly define block. You have to read several sections, but I referred to a 21st century land planning code that was produced by the American Planning Association, and they define block as the length between intersecting streets, and I believe that is the common understanding of that term. So that's what staff is recommending. That definition be used. That staff does not believe that blocks are measured by pedestrian paths, nor just by providing a building. By circling buildings, that doesn't make a block. So staff believes the measurement of blocks would be along the streets, in between measuring streets. So I measured, these are the three biggest. Some are difficult to measure, like here, the street doesn't intersect. There are also provisions about measuring blocks that front on public open space and that sort of thing. But so A, B, and C, their measurements are as stated here. So they all exceed the maximum provided by the code. Staff suggests, and if you can see my amateurish little markups, that the block length could be brought much closer to what the code is seeking by making, a couple little street connections, a street connection there, street connection there, street connection there. And those places were chosen because there's already a lot of impervious surface proposed in these locations, and like this parking, just move it over here, provide for on-street parking or something instead, make it a street. Similarly here, this roadway coming down to the amenity center or clubhouse, it only needs a short little connection, and it would create another block, and it would substantially reduce the average block perimeter. One of the other issues is external connectivity. So each neighborhood is supposed to be able to connect or provide for future connectivity to the land adjacent to it, anticipating that at some point that land would also be developed. We don't want to send all the trips out to the major roads, And we don't want to, we want people to be able to visit their neighbors in the most, in the shortest way. So staff is suggesting these are two possible links that could be provided for potential connection to the south. The other issue is external connectivity to Emerson Avenue and Seminole Road. The TVC code and the comprehensive plan call for a street grid, a well-connected integrated street network, and with a grid on 1/4 to 1/2 miles. So basically from Emerson Avenue to Seminole Road is just under 1/2 mile. And right now, the only connection to the exterior streets or external streets is this here, where the Spine Road will connect to the proposed extension of Emerson Avenue. The Spine Road is proposed to, at this point, end here and not actually connect to Seminole Road, and it's proposed for emergency access only. And similarly, a 20-foot wide right-of-way was provided up here, and it is identified as, or the applicant has indicated that it was intended for proposed emergency access only. So staff is concerned about the lack of external connectivity. Staff believes that connectivity is needed to Seminole Road, both in the north and the south. That's about 1,300, I think it's about 1,600 feet. That's your 1/4 mile measurement. The plan provides for residents of 375 homes to just have one access to the street network. And again, the TVC requires interconnected network of streets on a 1/4 and 1/2 mile grid. Emerson Avenue and Seminole Road, as you probably know, they are not standard roads. Emerson Avenue actually, becomes a dirt road just about here. Seminole Road might appear paved. It's only in a 50-foot right-of-way, and it is not. It's chip sealed. It's not paved in the way that we understand paved to mean. So the concern about connecting to Seminole Road for this project would be substantial costs to the developer or to the applicant to repave Seminole Road to county standards. So also about the street design is that townhomes are required to be accessed or are required to be provided alleys. And the streets serving the townhomes here, the pink dwellings are townhomes, and these streets, they are identified as alleys. They have just 2 10-foot lanes. There are no sidewalks proposed, no street trees proposed. But the difference is these alleys are the only street access to the townhomes. So here we go back again to what the code provides, and the code does not expressly define alley to mean secondary access, where there is primary access to another or primary frontage to another street. There are several illustrations in the code that imply that an alley is intended to be secondary access. The fact that the code requires the most intense development area, the center and the core, to have alleys, it's clear that alley isn't supposed to be the only means to serve those properties. The illustration of townhomes in the lot types in the code, it shows the alley in the rear to access the driveway and the garage, but the road, the public street in the front is intended for guest parking and on-street parking. So this is an issue that staff is bringing to you for your input. There are, and your reaction, there are some also some provisions in the code that allow a building to front on public open space. So it's everything has to front on a street or public open space. It is probably, it could be permissible to allow these buildings to be served just by alleys, it will mean all the street access to the townhomes will have no sidewalks, won't necessarily have street trees, will not have on-street parking. Now here, on this alley, this proposed alley section, there is a long row of on-street parking. Providing parallel on-street parking is generally inconsistent with the alley street type, but that's how it's addressed, recognizing that the townhome residents are going to need parking for their guests. So there are numerous parking lots provided. Here's a small parking lot, a small parking lot, small parking lot, and all this parallel parking along the street. Okay. So with regard to countryside, the code defines specific purposes, land uses that constitute the countryside. Clearly, agricultural uses constitute countryside. The flowway constitutes countryside. Parks and recreation areas and community recreation areas also count as countryside. Staff does not believe these areas in between the buildings, that constitutes countryside. You still get to use that density, the land area there. It's still eligible for its 1 dwelling unit per acre. It's not eligible in staff's mind as countryside that is eligible for a 1.75 multiplier. Similarly, like the landscape buffer along the roads here, it's not agriculture, it's not restored or created habitat, it's not the flowway, it's not a community recreation area, it's a landscape buffer, and so it's just regular open space. Eligible for 1 dwelling unit an acre. So with regard to the restored or created native habitat, the code provides that those areas shall be at least 25 acres in size. Now, some might argue that that means it should be at least 1 25-acre swath, that you can't have, 5 acres here, 3 acres here, 3 acres here, and bound them together. But, especially on small parcels, to try to get 25 acres as one swath of land might be unreasonable. The code is not, it just says at least 25 acres. Staff in this case has chosen or believes that allowing it to be in separate parcels is reasonable. That was the position taken by staff when the Indrio and I-95 PTV was approved several years ago. And they have a 16 acres piece that they were proposing to restore to upland habitat, and that was accepted as constituting restored or created habitat. So anyway, restored native habitat must be at least 25 acres in size, must be connected to the greatest extent possible to preserved habitat or environmentally significant land or to the flowway. It must include multiple upland and wetland habitat types that can be supported by soil types and the proposed hydrology. Again, that might anticipate a larger swath of land. If we were dealing with a 1,000-acre tract or an 800-acre tract, we might be able to provide multiple kinds of habitat. I don't know whether that should be strictly enforced on a 126-acre piece. Upland habitat has to provide canopy, understory, and ground cover native species, as would occur in natural plant communities in St. Lucie County. shallow marsh systems are encouraged. Deep water habitat and the required littoral zone and upland buffer habitat are not eligible for the 2.75 multiplier that applies to restoration. So the code that applies in the Townsville, in the Planned Towns and Villages zoning district provides that in addition to complying with the resource protection standards in Chapter 6, native trees, this is the part I'm emphasizing, in addition to complying with resource protection standards in Chapter 6, native trees and vegetation and other natural features must be preserved to the extent practicable. So in Chapter 6, at this particular citation, it provides that habitat preservation areas shall minimize the edge to interior ratio and shall have no minimum dimension that is less than 100 feet and shall not exceed a length to width ratio of 3:1, unless exceeding this ratio allows for superior connections with adjacent parcels or other environmental benefits. We think that this issue about the connectivity between parcels is relevant in this case. Okay, we talked about that. Sorry, my slides are a little. So in the, again, all the dark green area is proposed as created or restored native habitat. Staff does not believe that these areas in between single-family homes constitute restored habitat, native habitat. A 10-foot landscape buffer along the rear that is not habitat. These areas, surrounding a parking lot and in between the buildings around this parking lot, they don't meet the criteria for habitat. Staff is recommending for your consideration some flexibility with regard to some of the other areas. Given the challenges of meeting all these code requirements on a 126-acre site, and also in the actual benefits of environmental habitat creation. So for example, the flowway is required to have, and I'll talk about the flowway in a minute, but our flowway standards in the TVC are stricter than our stormwater standards outside the TVC. So inside the TVC, you are required to provide 20 square feet of littoral zone per linear foot of shoreline. Outside the TVC, that's 10 square feet per linear foot. So it's twice the littoral. And you're also around the flowway required to provide a native upland buffer or native edge vegetation of 20 feet per linear foot. Outside the TVC, it's only 10 feet. So those littoral zones and the native upland buffer required for the flowway are expressly excluded by the code from any credit for the 2.75 multiplier. They don't count as restored and created habitat because they're meeting the flowway code rather than that other code. So here's a blow-up of some of the proposed restored and created native habitat. So the applicant is proposing a 35-foot, basically a landscape buffer, a 20-foot lake maintenance easement. The South Florida Water Management District requires a 20-foot lake maintenance easement around the perimeter of the flowway. They're proposing a 20-foot littoral zone around the flowway. And then on the other side, this 10-foot landscape buffer and the lake maintenance easement. But in total, that you could say that that's 105 feet of habitat. You know, the trees and the shrubs, depending on what's proposed to be planted there, you know, not sod, but native grasses and shrubs and understory and canopy trees, that could be made to mimic natural habitat. Similarly here, you know, there's a 35-foot landscape buffer and upland area. There's a 20-foot, this is the 20-foot landscape maintenance easement, lake maintenance easement. The the littorals here vary in depth from 30 feet to 45 feet. Similarly on the other side, but like in this 26 feet, it includes 2 sidewalks. So you'll hear us later say, you know, one walkway would be sufficient in that 26 feet, and then maybe we can recommend that it be counted towards restored and created native habitat. So this is emphasizing the alley access to the townhomes. You can see here's the 22-foot alley. 22 feet includes the 1-foot curb on each side, basically 10-foot drive aisles. The measurement on the lot typicals is from the garage to the drive aisle is 22 feet. That's our minimum for a driveway parking space, 22 feet. The front of the townhouses, so the applicant has said, you know, the alley is serving the rear. The front is facing the sidewalk and the common open space, in this case proposed restored habitat, and the front of the townhouse dwellings face the sidewalk and the preserved area or restored area. This is a cross-section of the alley. Again, well, it says 21 feet. It's 22 feet, 1-foot curb on each side, 2 10-foot drive aisles. One of the conditions of approval that I've recommended is that clearly the fire district has to sign off on this, and as does our Public Works Department. So staff believes the proposed preliminary regulating plan fails to meet the applicable standards of review, in particular compliance with the comprehensive plan and the land development code, and therefore recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission consider the presentations by staff and the applicant, ask questions, make suggestions, and continue the public hearing until its meeting scheduled for August 18th at 6 p.m. Now, depending on what the conversation is and the wish of the board, after hearing from the applicant and asking your questions, we have prepared, if you don't want to continue, if you want to make an express recommendation, staff has prepared a list of conditions of approval that we would offer for your consideration. But that concludes my presentation, and I am happy to answer any questions that you have. Of course, Mr. Curry is here representing the applicant, and he has a presentation as well.
All right. Do we have any questions for staff, or do we want to hear the applicant? Mr. Lowndes.
Ms. Edemeyer, several questions. Did you state that the flowways do not count towards density? Or we did count them towards density?
It counts, and in fact is eligible for a 1.75 multiplier. So the land area that is devoted to flowway, if you're devoting 10 acres to flowway, you get 10 times 1.75. What's that? 17.5. The potential to build 17.5 units off of that 10 acres.
So once again, we're using lakes, ponds, and mud holes to give density that nobody can play in. Is that my estimation?
Yeah, yes, it's providing other environmental
Okay.
benefits.
Can you go back to your screen that shows the development of placement of houses or the things? I don't know which one it is.
Is this the one you wanted to see the
That'll work. Ms. Settlemire, it's been a while since we've had a development come before us that lacks the green space within the development. There's
Well-
very little green space between the buildings, between the houses and such have you.
Well-
Are we not gonna allow the children to play, they only gotta play in the street?
So, no, so, thank you, Mr. Lowndes, for the question. So the dark green area is what the applicant has proposed to constitute restored or creative native habitat. So they will have to present a plan to restore natural habitat. These dark areas here, this one here is a proposed park. This is a stormwater lake, and this is a stormwater lake. But surrounding that lake is this yellow area, and that will be open space for recreation, kick a ball, throw a frisbee, walk your dog. Similarly, now I'm not sure why this one is shown dark instead of yellow, but all this yellow area here and this area would all be open space available to the residents.
Okay.
This is yellow, this here is open space. The
What
question I was saying is I don't think it necessarily qualifies as, some of it doesn't qualify as countryside that's eligible for a multiplier. It's
kinda-
just your basic open space that you get one dwelling unit per acre.
It's kind of limited and narrow, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
It's kind of narrow and limited.
Well, certainly between the buildings, yes.
My next question is, we have one access going to Emerson Avenue.
Yes.
What is the county's recommendation for the roadway? Are we gonna pave Emerson Avenue from one end of the property to the other, or
Yes,
just from the exit?
Yes, our site plans always have to provide access to paved roads. Any development that requires site plan approval has to provide access to via a paved road. So Emerson Avenue, or paved roads plural, Emerson would be improved by the applicant to this point.
To
They will
county-
be
to
dedicating
county
right of way
standards.
for the rest of the length.
To county standards,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
But not Seminole? We're not gonna exit on the
So,
Seminole?
Again, Commissioner, staff does not think that this application is ready for a recommendation of approval subject to 30 conditions of approval. We thought that perhaps we could get your input and come back. But yes, if the board wants, if the commission wishes to not continue it and make a recommendation, we are proposing that they must pave Seminole Road within the 50-foot right-of-way, not because there's a canal along the west side of the road, so there's no ability to provide right-of-way. And we're suggesting that a sidewalk be provided on Seminole only if that sidewalk can be accommodated within the 50-foot of right-of-way. The timing of when that roadway would be paved would be subject to some negotiation, maybe not to start off, maybe, I don't know, 50% done or some, but staff believes that we need connectivity to Seminole. Seminole is only chip sealed, it's not paved, and that would be one of our recommended conditions of approval.
Can you talk to me just a little bit about the alleyways? The alleys there's no parking in the alleys, it's actually just used for access to the garage?
Well, there are driveways for the residents.
And that's all the alleyway is? There's no parking on the alleyways and such have you? Are there sidewalks there?
No sidewalks, no parking. Thank you. It's just the 10-foot drive aisles and the parking in the driveways and in the garages. There is one stretch of alley along the this segment of alley. Whoops, I'm sorry, I have to get. This segment of alley does provide for parallel on-street parking. But no, generally will not be any on-street parking. There will be no on-street parking for most of the townhomes.
Where does my guest park their car? In my driveway?
Well, if there's room, if you know, depending on how many vehicles, or they park in these little parking lots and walk over, or they park along the parallel parking that's on that street, or they, you know, there's various off-street parking lots
If it's not raining.
proposed.
If it's not raining,
If it's not raining, if you're not carrying a lot of things.
sure. Don't have friends, that's one thing. But each family, we use what, 2.5 cars average per family now?
I don't know.
Mr.
Most
Bain?
adults, most households have numerous cars.
More than they need.
Yeah, everybody who's working has a car. Many of the teenagers have cars, or college students.
Too many of them. Thank you, Ms. Sedemar.
All right, Mr.
Mr.
O'Donnell?
Chair, applicant's presentation, please.
Everyone's good for the applicant? Come on down, Mr. Curry. Thank you very much, Irene.
Thank you.
Commission. For the record, I'm Brad Curry with Haley Ward. Tonight I'm representing the contract purchaser of a 126-acre piece of property located south of Indria Road between Seminole and Emerson. Staff did an excellent job presenting the project before you. It's a very complicated project, and I'm going to try not to confuse you guys anymore and get through it with some commentary overall on the TVC, and it's applicable, I believe, to this project. You know, I think one thing I read in the 42-page staff report was that this was the first PTV that's been presented to this board. It may be the first PTV, Planned Town or Village. Just for everyone's reminder, the TVC was adopted in 2009, and this is the first time, 2026, that you've had a PTV before you. So thought that was pretty interesting. The project team for this, it's a pretty comprehensive list of consultants, local consultants. Myself, Sean McKenzie is here tonight. Stefan Claren is the architect. He's not here. Survey, environmental, and then civil engineering, and then of course the owner. So we did put together, we think, the best team possible to present this project before you. Staff always does a good job of presenting the location of the property, so I won't spend too much time on these slides. It is a total of 6 parcels, 126.32 acres, as you can see on the slide in front of you. TVC is the future land use, and AG1 is the zoning. Something that's a little bit different about this project than some of the other projects that you've seen recently is that this is within the urban services area. We will have to extend water and sewer from Indria Road down to this property, but it is in the urban services area. From a TVC standpoint, it's important because it opens up opportunities for development that you don't have outside of the urban services area. So it is an important part of the project. Irene also mentioned this map, which is a pretty important map, transferable value map. This is basically the future land use designations of the properties prior to the TVC adoption. And it's really, if we wanted to go to this and develop a PUD, we could use this map to just do a PUD. We still have to follow some of the TVC requirements, but it does give us a fallback from a number of units standpoint. There's the subject site right there. It is a split land use or split value. The northern portion has 2 units per acre. The southern portion has 1 unit per acre. This is a map that generally shows the location of the split. It's about 108 acres at 2 units per acre and about 18 acres at 1 dwelling unit per acre. Total number of units that we believe are permitted by right would be about 234 units. I'm going to start my presentation off by going through some commentary on the TVC that I think is applicable to this project, to all projects, and then I'll get into more detail about the project itself. I'm a nerdy planner, and I sit around with other nerdy planners, and we talk about the TVC pretty often. And I was with some planners one day, and one of the planners I was with said, you could have 10 different planners look at the TVC and come back with 10 different plans. And I was like, well, that's a problem. Why would you have something that is so inconsistent and not predictable? That's what we want. We want predictability. You're going to hear me say that a lot tonight. When we look at a zoning code, straight zoning district, you have your setbacks, you have your building height, you have your number of units. It's pretty clear. TVC is the exact opposite of that, and I'm going to go through a bunch of reasons why that is. So I think that when you think about this project, and you think about 10 different planners, and Irene and I are planners, and we happen to have a different opinion of how the TVC should be implemented. So you have 2 planners here with 2 different opinions. So I just want to make sure that that is stated. I said staff's opinion is one, and I'm a second one. So the other thing about the TVC is it's pretty complex and pretty lengthy, and I use this number of pages, and I realized as I was looking at the Muni code today, which is the online code, you know, some kids out there probably don't even know what a page is these days because they just go to the Muni code and look through it. But what I did is I actually went through Muni code and I said print to PDF, the comprehensive plan, which is 48 pages, the PTV code, zoning code, which is 60 pages, and then the TVC overlay zone, which is 24 pages. So when reviewing this project, a planner has to review 132 pages of code to make sure that they're consistent with the code. That's about as complex as it gets. I looked at a PUD. You guys see a lot of PUDs in other parts of the county. The PUD is 16 pages. So you have a PUD, which we think is pretty complex, compared to 132 pages of TVC code. Again, difference of opinions. We're looking for predictability and consistency. Very difficult to do that when you have 132 pages. I think that we've heard before, I've often heard people, members of the public or maybe even some of you and maybe some of the board members, board county commissioners say, well, TVC, it's towns, villages, and countryside. You know, it's as simple as putting a town and having a village and countryside. Well, it ain't that simple. It isn't that simple to be able to do that. There's so many complex issues that deal with the code. So it isn't, towns, villages, and countryside is just is the title of it, but when you get into the details of 132 pages, it gets a little bit overwhelming. In preparing for this application, I was reviewing the different comp plan policies, and I often think about, we say this a lot, at least I do in my office, is I try to get in the head of the person who wrote the code. What was what did they want when they wrote the code? You think about the TVC and you think about dense development surrounded by countryside and some different types of housing and interconnected roads. So today in St. Lucie County, if you build a residential subdivision, you would build it, say we were building it off of Indrio Road, we would be able to connect to Indrio Road. Indrio Road's a county-owned road, county-maintained road, but all the roadways inside of that project would be privately owned, built by whoever built the project, and then maintained by the homeowner association. The TVC code, these 3 policies that are up here on the plan that were written as part of the TVC, mention public right-of-way in 3 different places, and I have another one as well. So when we talk about interconnected streets and connecting through the neighborhood, I think the person who wrote the code intended for these internal streets, these streets that are internal to the neighborhood, to be built by the developer and then turned over to the county. Because why would you use public right-of-ways, public streets? Why would you use the term public? Doesn't make sense to me unless you were going to turn those over to the county and have the county maintain it. Now, that changes the financials of a project like this. If we were able to build the road and then turn it over to the county for the ongoing maintenance, then that makes it a little bit easier to build more roads because that's what the TVC wants. We talked about the blocks and they want a road every 1,200 feet or 2,400 feet or whatever it is. That means more roads. For a community, it also means more maintenance over the time. And so if we could build those roads as a community and then turn those over to the county for ongoing maintenance responsibilities, that changes the TVC. So the person who wrote the TVC, did they intend for those roads to be turned over to the county? I don't know why they would use public if they didn't want that to be turned over. Again, 10 different planners, 10 different things. Irene and I have different opinions. Again, the next part of it talks about, you heard during staff's presentation about internal street networks, connections, that sort of thing. That's a policy right from the comp plan that says interconnected networks of public streets in a predictable block pattern that encourages walkable, reduces the number and length of automobile trips, and provides multiple circulation routes and conserves energy. Public streets is mentioned again. The other thing I wanted to say is that during the discussion, Mr. Lowndes, before I got up here, there was talks about cars and having to walk from your parking lot to the unit. Well, that's the whole intent of the TVC. So you can't have parking right at your unit and have it also walkable. It seems like we need to pick one or the other. My favorite policy of the comprehensive plan is that one, policy 11.1.6.7. And I'm going to read it because it is my favorite. Management and coordination of the flowway system. Management and coordination of the flowway system. St. Lucie County will coordinate with South Florida Water Management District and the Fort Pierce Farms Water Control District to create, within 6 months of the effective date of the TVC element, on institutional structure to facilitate the implementation of a surface water and stormwater management system that A, maintains adopted level of services, B, is coordinated with landowners to achieve connectivity over time, C, is financially feasible, D, is coordinated with the plans of the South Florida Water Management District and Fort Pierce Farms Water Control District and other stakeholder agencies, and increases water quality prior to discharge into the Indian River Lagoon. The county had something to do 6 months after it was adopted. It never did it. So we continue to implement a flowway requirement when the county didn't live up to their end of the bargain. And I think that's a problem. I'm not saying I don't want to do a flowway. I'm telling you I don't want to do a 60-foot littoral area that has to be 2 inches deep in the wet season and 4 inches deep in the dry season. I mean, that's how specific the code gets. I want to maintain my stormwater per South Florida requirements, which is what every other project does. So I think that section of the comp plan, it's hard to enforce the flowway requirements when you didn't do your job. I hate to say it, but that's the way I feel. We talk about property, what publicly dedicated means, and we did a bunch of research. Again, the TVC, it seems like it has a lot of definitions in it, but it misses on some of the most important ones. We think publicly dedicated means that a private landowner voluntarily transfers the property to a government for permanent public use, is what we think that means. So whenever we see public streets, public dedication, public access ways, all of that stuff, we think it's owned by the public, not owned by a homeowner association. So we talk a lot about blocks. I personally think the plan we've presented is a walkable block system. Mr. Lowndes, you talked about the distance between townhomes. We have 25 to 30 feet between the townhome lots. That's going to be open green space. That's going to have a walkway that goes from the back of the unit to the front of the unit. So if you park your car in your driveway and you didn't want to walk through the house, you could simply walk to the edge of your townhome building and walk between the buildings to get to your unit. There's
Mr. Curry,
25 or 30 space.
how much?
25 to 30 feet between lots, and then you still have about 7.5 feet.
Thank you, sir.
So you have green space between the actual units. We aren't butting the townhouses up side by side. We aren't putting the lots side by side. There's green space between each of the townhome units. Never seen that before in any project that I've ever presented.
Draw a better picture next time.
Yes, sir, I will. I made notes of that. Staff talked about, they use the 21st century land development code because the TVC doesn't have a block. You would think that a block would be a pretty important definition to have since it's mentioned so many times, but it's not there. Well, I found my own definition of a block, and I looked at other zoning codes, other land development codes throughout the country, and it said a tract or parcel of land entirely surrounded by public streets other than alleys, or a combination of public streets, public land, railroad rights-of-ways, parks, watercourses, or municipal boundary lines. Again, when the person wrote this code, what were they thinking? Were they thinking private streets, or were they thinking public streets? I would think they would use the word private if they thought it was going to be private. So I brought these things up. I'm going to probably bring them up throughout my presentation. I want you guys to remember this intro here to talk about the TVC because it does come up a lot in the presentation and some of the conditions that staff has brought up, and I will refer back to this throughout my presentation. So the request is a simple request, rezone to a PTV for the construction of 375 dwelling units, 129 single-family, 246 multifamily or townhomes with a flowway, created habitat, civic building lots, recreational amenity centers, and open space. Staff went through this pretty quickly and good. These are the requirements to do a Plan Village PTV. I don't know why we didn't have a PV or a PT, but it's PTV. We're choosing the village, and we meet all the requirements of a village, the size requirements, the open space requirements, the net developable areas, which you have to determine in order to see if you meet your minimum density. The minimum density of this piece would be 281 units. So if we were going to do a PTV in this property, we'd have to do at least 281 to meet the code. And again, we're proposing 375. This is the breakdown of the open space, restored habitat. That's the perimeter. We will have to plant that. We will have to come up with a plan that will be presented prior to the board meeting, Board of County Commissioners meeting. Countryside, flowway, littoral, interior lakes, and upland buffer. You know, our staff mentioned that we weren't going to get any multiplier credits for the littoral or the upland habitat, and we aren't proposing any multiplier credits for that, and I'll explain that in the next slide. 55.6% of the site is something other than homes and roads. We call that open space. I know everybody's got a different definition of open space. We do have a combination of natural areas that we're going to restore. We do have the places where you can throw a frisbee or kick a football, and we do have larger, smaller areas around the perimeter or around the perimeter of the lakes where people can hang out. I know this is hard to read. It's a lot of information. We talked about the base density based on that transfer, the I say TDR, but it's not TDR, the map that we showed that showed that we had the 2 units per acre and the 1 unit per acre. We talked about the 281, which is the minimum we can do a PTV with, and then we talked about our 375, which is what we're proposing at a density of 2.96 dwelling units per acre. These columns at the bottom, every time I move one townhouse unit to the left or to the right or to the up or to the down, I have to recalculate these. Every time we move stuff around, that's the TVC, is that you have to recalculate your open space, you have to recalculate your lake area, everything has to be recalculated. My client is very frustrated because he keeps getting bills from me, and it's not because I want to send him bills, it's because I have to keep changing the plan, and when I change the plan, I have to change the spreadsheet. I know it's hard to see. Sorry. I know how to do the pointer, but I don't remember how to do it. There it is. So we're going to use the 17.5 acres of created habitat, which I can't really read it. Created
At the
habitat,
top.
17.58, and then that's the 17.58, that's 126 acres of the total property. This is the open space breakdown. So you follow the 17.58 all the way over here, and the 17.58, we have 2 different created habitat. One is in the 1 unit per acre land use, and then one is at 2. So we take 17.28 times 2, and then we get a 2.5 multiplier, and so that equals 88 units. So again, 17 acres would give us, 2 units per acre is what I use the word by right, I don't know if that's the correct terminology, and then we get to multiply that times the 2.5, which is the multiplier because we are creating habitat. We're getting a benefit from the TVC because we are creating habitat. So that equates to 88 units. This is a regulating plan. I know it's not the prettiest plan in the world. This is about 1 of 7 pages that's going to be adopted if this does get approved. So it is quite extensive set of plan list. It generally shows a location of the single-family homes on the south, townhomes on the north, the lakes, and surrounded by the green space and/or countryside. This is just a zoom in of it. It's a little skewed here. Irene did a good job talking about the Emerson will be our main access here for 375 units. We will build it, and then this is the east-west road that will be built. We are stopping it just short of Seminole. I'll explain that in a second. Townhouses on the north, single family on the south, and the flowway that wraps around the east and north sides, and then the restored habitat west sides, restored habitat on the east side and the south side. I like this graphic better. It's a little prettier. Looks very green. Shows Injury Road on the north, Seminole on the east, and then Emerson on the west. This is a zoom in of the property, just to show you a little bit about where the trees are going to go, where the green space is going. I think it shows that park in the middle a little bit better than any other plan. Mr. Lowndes should be happy. 246 townhomes on the north, 129 single family on the south. We're showing 2 amenity centers, one for the townhomes and one for the single families. We haven't planned those out exactly, but we do have a spot plan for them within the regulating plan. Whether there'll be a clubhouse or just a pool and cabana, pickleball courts, we don't know exactly, but there is quite a bit of space for any kind of amenity center. The civic building lots is a requirement of the PTV. We are showing that in those locations at the intersection at the roundabout. 16-acre flowway, 25-acre restored habitat. The buffers, so this talk about, I've got a slide later in the presentation, but we generally have a 15-foot buffer around the perimeter of the site. And then there's other stuff happening inside of that I can show you on another slide. So when we talk about buffering, there will be a consistent 15-foot buffer with a shade tree every 30 feet with the 24-inch hedge planted around it. Along the north, there's a 505-foot setback from the northern property line to where our first, where the edge of the lake is. On the east side, it's about 300 feet, 298. On the south, we're 241 from Seminole, about 60 foot from the south property line, another 68 feet there, 300 from that south, 224 from Emerson, and then about 364 there to where the road starts. So while it doesn't you don't think of this as countryside, for a 127-acre, 126-acre piece of property, this is the countryside that you get. You're buffering the perimeter of the site from the surrounding existing uses, and I think we're doing a really good job of that. Right-of-way dedication, we're giving 2 right-of-ways. Emerson Avenue, we're giving about 3 acres, 2.98 acres, and then we are given about 5 acres for that east-west road that's in the TVC right-of-way map. We talked a little bit about access. We are going to get we're proposing to have all of our access off of Emerson. Emerson at Indrio is a signalized intersection between Seminole and Emerson. Emerson is a better access point for us because it is signalized. And we know 375 units on one access is a little bit of controversy here tonight, but we think that having that secondary emergency access out to Seminole would provide additional access point for the emergency access vehicles. I'll get in, Seminole Road itself, as staff stated, is a substandard roadway. It's chip seal. Not only is it a substandard roadway, it only is 50-foot right-of-way. In the county has 2 right-of-way standards, 60 foot for curb and gutter and 70 foot for swale drainage. So we haven't been able to contact with the engineering department. We have no issue with connecting our road all the way to Seminole, but we simply can't afford to construct Seminole, the entire stance, with everything else that's being done. And I have a map that will show that, or a cost that will show that shortly. So this is the east side of the property. The North St. Lucie, that's the property line in red. The North St. Lucie, Fort Pierce Farms Water Control District is a 100-foot wide right-of-way. You can see that right-of-way is right up against our property. So if we wanted to give road right-of-way, we wouldn't be able to do it because we don't actually front Seminole. So again, 50 foot is a substandard roadway in the county. I don't believe the engineering department would let me connect to a 50-foot right-of-way. Has to be a minimum of 60 curb and gutter, 70 swale. So right now, I would have to, if I was going to be required to construct Seminole Road, I would have to go to those property owners along Seminole Road and acquire additional right-of-way. And I think we all know how difficult it is to acquire right-of-way. This is the typical townhouse footprint, Mr. Lowndes, and that 25 feet that I was talking about that's a property line right there for the townhouse. And this is that 25-foot area that's going to be green space and sidewalk. It'll be planted with trees that separates the townhomes. So you don't have, typically you would have the end units touch each other, the lots would touch each other, and this would only be the green space. We've included additional green space between it to separate the townhomes more.
Mr. Curry, that is green space there then?
Yes, sir. It's public, it'll be owned by the homeowner association.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. 2-car garages, 1-car garages. We did point out there was some discussion about parking, and while there may not be guest parking along this section, we did provide a number of parking areas, which I particularly like. I like the fact that you can go to a parking lot and park, and I've got a slide later in my presentation that shows you the number of sidewalks that we have in this property. 6-foot wide sidewalks is what we're going to be proposing. These are the other products, the villas and the single families. We started out this plan with 40s and 50s, and we increased the lot size to 50s and 60s. I know that still isn't half-acre lots, but it is a little bit larger than what we typically have seen on some other projects. This is the sidewalk pedestrian map. I want you guys to watch the screen very quickly because it goes and it's impressive, but did y'all see that yellow that went through? I'll go back in case we need to probably make that a different color. But all the yellow lines on there are sidewalks. Every one of those yellow lines that comes on in front of the townhomes, in the right-of-way, through the park area, around the lake, around the restored habitat. This is as walkable as a community as I have ever done. So we believe that it does function as the blocks, and it does provide for people to be able to walk in close proximity or to get from one place to another without having to drive. This is the block. I think I finally understand the block after working on this project for a year and a half. The average block length has to be 1,500 feet, which means around there you have to have at least, out of all the blocks, you have to measure every block on this plan and determine that the average is 1,500 feet. You can't have one more than 2,400 feet around. And in addition to the 1,500 average and the 2,400 max, you have to have a pedestrian access every 500 feet. Now, we got the pedestrian access straight. We got that good. But we go back to the roadways. When you talk about average block lengths and you talk about who owns that road, if it were publicly owned, if we were able to build it and dedicate it to the public, then maybe we would have more streets. But when we cannot burden the homeowner association with maintaining all of the streets. And so in lieu of giving a road every 12 or average of 1,500 feet, a max of 2,400 feet, we felt like it was better to create this pedestrian-friendly environment. And so that's what we chose. You think about, the size of this. It's 127 acres, which I know is pretty large, but we have at least 25 acres in restored habitat, 16 acres in flowway. So you're pretty tight, less than 100 acres by the time you get internal to this. So this is an example. The block length is 731 feet. This is an example of a block that actually meets the code. And then we have a perimeter block of 1,600 feet. So this actually meets the code requirement, this one block by itself. But there are, Irene's correct, there are other blocks that do not meet that 2,400 foot max. But we do have all of the pedestrian ways every 500 feet. This is something, we talked about it internally in my office, and I think it just got missed at the end of it when we submitted it. We are completely okay with providing an access to the south. And so if there was a condition of approval that this board or this commission would like to add, we are completely okay with adding a condition to add access to the south. We have no issues with that. Always like to do a slide showing all the conditions of approval. Staff did not go over those, but I would like to go over the conditions of approval. There were 8 that were included. We are acceptable to discuss other ones if there are, but I wanted to just go through them pretty quickly because I thought the conditions of approval for a 42-page staff report, I thought the conditions of approval were very reasonable, believe it or not, and something that we can work with. The first one is the flowway. We've talked about the flowway. I don't think it's applicable. It's a smaller project. We have done other projects where we have said we were going to follow South Florida Water Management District requirements, and I believe that is what's relevant and what should be applied here for this project. So that first condition talks about the 60-foot wide and everything else, and we would just like to say, hey, we're gonna meet South Florida District requirements. This is an example of the perimeter of the property. We did 2 cross sections, A and B, and it's really difficult to see here, but you can see it on this screen better. The dark blue area is the proposed littoral area, and then the lighter blue area is the larger lake. So in the cross section A, we have about 75 feet across there, and you can see it's made up of a bunch of different, I'm going to use the term habitat. There's a bunch of different habitats there. There's 20 foot of littoral area there. There's 20 foot of upland buffer, deep water habitat buffer. It goes by a bunch of different names. There's 35 foot of combined buffer and restored habitat. So that's the entire 75 foot. Now, if you go just a little bit further away, we actually provided 37 feet of littoral area, which is with the 20 foot upland buffer and the 35 foot combined buffer restored habitat. So that's the 92 feet. So we believe the perimeter of this property, while it doesn't meet the 100-foot requirement that staff presented in their presentation, the 100-foot requirement has nothing to do with the flowway. That's what I also love about the TVC, is that they go and pick and choose from other sections of the code. And so the 100-foot requirement has to do with preservation areas. There's nothing in the code, in the TVC code, that says how wide the restored habitat has to be. Nothing. So we believe we are meeting the requirement of the restored habitat, and I believe that the flowway as presented is a good alternative to the 60-foot wide and all of those other things that's required. This has to do with the civic spots. We're completely okay with this. We're in agreement with this condition approval. We have to transfer that to a different ownership. 100% in agreement with it. Condition number 3, 100% agreement. We have to do a landscape plan. We know we have to do that. Condition number 4, we understand we have to do a tree mitigation. We do those all the time. We're not against that. Condition of approval number 5 has to do with affordable housing. We're completely acceptable to this. We know we have to do affordable housing. If we have to put it on the plan, we are okay with that. Condition of approval number 6. This is one of the other ones that, I'm okay with providing access to Seminole Road. I think I'm a planner. I like multiple access points. I'm not a huge fan of engineers who say what the roads have to be. In this case, we've talked about it, that it would have to be curb and gutter, 60 feet, 70-foot swale, and also repaved. I think it's interesting. I wanted to show, this is the TVC street network map. And I don't think we zoomed in here, but I'll give you $1 if you can find Seminole Road on this. Seminole Road is not a colored line on this map, which makes me think, why are we connecting to it if it's not a colored road? It appears to me that, again, the person who wrote this map, if they wanted Seminole to be a major road, which is right here, they would have, I'm sorry, right here. I can't even see it.
Where you had it.
There it is.
Seminole. They would have colored that roadway and said, hey, we want to build this roadway, we want to build it out. They didn't do it here on the TVC map. Sorry, I should have just hit the button. And this is the right-of-way protection map. There's our site right there, and then zoom in. And again, Seminole Road not even a color on the right-of-way protection map. So if we connect to it, we have to reconstruct it. I don't believe, based on the code, the maps that I'm seeing, that it was ever intended for Seminole Road to be improved. If it were, it would be a color. This is a slide that I think is extremely important. We talk about money all the time, and everybody thinks developers are rich and loaded and greedy, and I just want to make sure that we and I'm probably going to expand upon this on future presentations, but this project has the 2 different single-family and multifamily, 129 single-family, 246 multifamily. That's the impact fees that we are expected to generate on this project, road impact fees only. $1.8 million in road impact fees. So if we didn't have to build any roads, we weren't in a TVC, we'd come in for our building permit, we'd pay that impact fee, the county would get $1.8 million in road impact fees. We are in the TVC, and the TVC allows us to get impact fee credits for the roadways we improve. We talked about East-West Road, East-West Road, that is $5 million to build that roadway. Emerson Road is $1.2 million. So right out of the bat, our impact fees don't even cover the amount of roadway improvements that we have to do. So if this board, if this staff, if the Board of County Commissioners, whoever, implies that we have to build Seminole Road in addition to building these 2 roads, we ain't doing the project. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that the impact fees do not cover the cost of the roadways that we're going to be building here. We're going to have to come out of pocket to build the roads. I think that's pretty important. Condition of approval number 7 has to do with the restoration and maintenance plan. We talked about that. The code says it has to be presented at the board, I believe, so that's the reason you guys don't have it here, but we will have it as part of the board meeting. And then condition of approval number 8, I believe the plan shows 4-foot sidewalks, but we are completely acceptable to doing the 6-foot sidewalks. So we would agree to that as well. That concludes my presentation. With me here tonight is Dante Gary, I got that right. Sean McKenzie, and all of us would be happy to answer any questions that you have regarding the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for the applicant?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Ado?
Mr. Curry, this item is quasi-judicial. Do you know what that means?
Yes, sir, that you are acting as the jury, I believe, was what I've always been told. Is that correct? Or the judge and jury?
Right, court-like. Obviously, this PDP fails to meet the standard of approval of staff. And the main concerns that I've heard tonight would be the LDC compliance. Do you think that these issues could be ironed out if you had more time?
Commissioner Odell, I don't believe that staff and I will ever come to an agreement on this project. I hate to say that. We have difference of opinions of how the TVC is going to be implemented on this property. I think we're close on some things. I just think that their interpretation of the code is different than my interpretation of the code. Remember, 10 planners, 10 different concepts. And so we believe the project that's before you tonight does indeed meet the code compared to how the code has been done on other types of projects. And so I think that we believe that it does meet the code. So it's up to this board to determine if they do or they don't. I'm okay with discussing with staff if there's specific things that I have presented tonight that they would like to see changed. But unfortunately, we're not going to build a road every 500 feet. The project doesn't work. Unfortunately, I'm not going to build Seminole Road, or we're not going to build Seminole Road. The project doesn't work. I mean, those sorts of conditions make the project not feasible, and we would not move forward with the project. So they're project killers is what I would say.
Okay. Well, again, it doesn't meet their standard of approval. And, you know, this is really not a workshop.
I understand. I don't expect it to be a workshop. I presented my plan.
Okay. So staff was recommending that they have a little more time, that we do not deny or approve, but rather move this to the next meeting. What do you think of that?
I've been working on this for a year and a half. My client has got a due diligence period that ends in December, and he has to make a decision if all the money's invested, if he's going to get something done by December or not. So every day is really, really important to us. And so I would rather move forward at this time.
Thank you.
Mr. Lowndes.
Mr. Curry, in
Yes, sir.
order to improve Emerson Avenue, you don't own the property all the way to Indrio. You're going to have to purchase some from Resacas or something?
Great question, Mr. Lowndes. We are working with the Fort Pierce Farms Water Control District and with Mr. Resacas. We're probably going to be shifting their canal over some, which is again is additional cost, and potentially getting some land from Mr. Resacas. Yes, sir. There's a pinch point just north of our property. There's plenty of right-of-way all the way down. It's just right there's a cell tower right there, and where that cell tower is and where the canal is, it does pinch down.
It's a pinch
But-
point
Yes,
right
sir.
there at Emerson, at Indrio.
There's plenty of right-of-way injury all the way down to the cell tower. And so we have been working with Mr. Resacas. He's a super nice guy, one of the nicest people I've ever met. And we are working with him, and we are going to either get more right-of-way from him, probably going to do a combination of getting additional right-of-way from him and also getting it and moving. We've already met with North St. Lucie. They're okay with us moving the canal.
You're going to have to move the canal to the west
Yes, sir.
in order to
Within the
get enough
existing
right-of-way?
Yes, sir.
Boy,
Yeah,
good luck with
it's-
that one.
Yes, sir. It's doable, but it's going to be expensive. Yes, sir.
Mr. Curry, I make a comment to you about the TVC, huts, hovels, and pup tents. What were you doing in 2009?
I was busy working, trying to make money and stay alive. Yes, sir. We were really hurting back in 2009 with the recession and everything else that was going on. The TVC was probably the last thing on my mind at that time.
I bled sitting on this board in 2009 with the commissioners that tried to push TVC, hut, hovels, and pup tents through. And I'm convinced that the reason it was developed as it is was to stop development in the northwest portion of St. Lucie County because of one development at Indrio and Emerson Avenue that had gotten started, and they didn't like it.
I agree with you, Mr. Lowndes. I always think that the smartest person in the world developed a TVC because they were a no-growther, but they came across as wanting to propose growth. So I think it's a great plan to stop development. Yes, sir.
I'd like to hear comment from the public, but then I'll have some more questions for you. Where does your outflow go? Does it go west to the canal in
Yes,
Emerson
sir.
Avenue?
Yes. Yes,
Is
sir.
it natural flow or pump?
It will be natural flow. It'll go out and have a outfall structure.
all the lakes are tied together somehow?
Except for one, we are proposing to have a separate lake for the right-of-way because we don't like to mix our water with county water. So on the plan, you will see this little lake down here will probably be dedicated to the county for their stormwater for the roadway.
It'll flow east
Yes,
to
sir.
Seminole?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Curry, this little niche that's down here, is there a residency there?
There is, and he is here tonight. He would love to get up and speak. We've met with him. Yes, sir.
Is there, would you address your buffer area around him for me?
I do not have the plan, and we did not identify that buffer to the south. I think it's about 50 feet, if I remember correctly, and I have someone listening in that will give me that information. As soon as I sit down, I'll come back up and tell you for sure.
I'd be interested in what your buffer design is around this private piece.
Yes, sir. So the last plan that we when we had our neighborhood meeting with the neighbors, this plan was flip-flopped. We had the townhomes down here and a single family up here, and we had lakes around this property. We had to push the actual flowway down along the south and along the west side. And sorry, but I forgot your name, Mr. Potter. Mr. Porter. Potter. He didn't really like the lakes down there. He's got some grandkids that like to get themselves in some trouble. And so he had some concerns with having the lake down there, and it wasn't the main reason we flip-flopped it, but I think he's a little bit happier having the green space there instead of the lake that was there before.
Thank you, Mr. Curry.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Dell,
public comment, please.
do you have a statement real quick?
Hold on one second.
Mr. Slay?
So I think every meeting I sit here and say how much I hate the TBC, right? I think it's almost unfair to developers and to people, because the amount of crap y'all have to jump through to try to even put a plan together, the amount of money that's spent, and once again, nothing ever gets built, right? I think it's a waste of time. I reached out to Corey the other day because my intention in coming in this meeting today was to say, how do we remove the TBC, right? You touched on a lot of reasons why, and I don't think it fits anything in this area. So I agree that it's a growth killer by nature, but at the same time, it's also a waste of time for staff. It's a waste of time for you guys, and I don't think it's from an operations standpoint, I don't think there's a benefit to it at all. So Corey, while you're sitting there, can you touch base real quick one more time again on how the process to remove, what has to happen? Because it can't come from the board, correct? Like,
Chair Benner, Vice Chair Slay, the typical approach to modifying both the county's comprehensive plan and the land development code, which would be required to repeal the TVC element and overlay zone, usually would require a private application. Those petitions, evaluation by staff, the Planning and Zoning Commission acting as the local planning agency, and 2 hearings before the Board of County Commissioners, including state review. The Board of County Commissioners, as we've had various amendments in the past, have the ability to initiate or ask staff to initiate amendments to policy, whether it's relating to fences or the TVC. From time to time, this body has provided consensus and recommendations from non-agenda items, but typically the main process would be privately initiated or county initiated.
okay. So, like this whole area out here is like under target right now, right? Every meeting we have is a Indrio Road project of some sort that's going on. And you can go, hey, this project's been approved and the next one's been approved, and now we have 20 projects sitting there with 150,000 trips a day, and nothing's getting built, and then we're continuing to throw more projects here and nothing's getting built. And now we're up to 200-something thousand trips a day and nothing's getting built. So what are we doing? Right? And so that's like when you come from a common sense standpoint or operation standpoint, if this was a private company, we wouldn't do that. You couldn't afford to do it. And I imagine that this gets kind of pricey on y'all's end also. And I imagine it's a pain in that for you on this side, trying to figure out how do you get 3 different code plans to work together in order to put this project together that doesn't even fit this area and never gets built. And I feel like we're just going through rezoning the area because we're trying to approve projects and the projects never get built, but the entire area is being rezoned out of Ag 1. And now we're creating a whole nother mess of problems or doors opening to things that we may not want in that area to begin with. And so I feel at like this point that something needs to, and I just want to go on a record to say that something needs to be done about the TVC, about removing it, getting away with it, whatever the case it is, because just like you said with it, you could come in, if you didn't have TVC on this, what kind of project or how much quicker of a project would this have been for
It
you?
would be a way quicker project, yes, sir. We're at 230 units, and if we didn't have to build that east-west road and we could connect it would save a ton of money. Then the project might work at the 235 or whatever the existing density is. But because of the $5 million road and all the other things that go along with it, it costs more money. And it could cost more money if we had to build all the roadways internal to the site that the TVC requires as well. So
What does the alley portion of this cost you as a developer?
I don't have that number, Mr. Lowndes. I can definitely look into that and see if I can come back to
It's just a thought, Mr. Curry.
Yeah.
Because every development in there has to have alleys and
Yeah.
pelican rest.
Yes, sir. Alleys, and not just the alley, but it has to have the front street too. So I thought it was pretty good to come up with a plan. We've done some projects in other places where the townhomes fronted on green space, and it turned out really nice. So that
have a place to put your parrot, though.
so that your visitors could park in the parking space, parking lots, and then walk down the front of those townhouses and have green space on one side, the row of townhouses on one side, and I think it could be really attractive. And so that's the way, I hate to use the word get around, but that's the way I tried to make this project feasible, was by cutting out that front road. And so
And so earlier you said you had like a PUD backup plan.
I didn't say that. I
Well,
said
something
that
along those
we
lines,
could,
right?
we could go to a PUD, but Mr. Slay, the problem is that even if I did a PUD, it's in the TVC, and they're going to make me follow some of the TVC requirements. Correct, staff?
Chair Benner, members of the commission, if I may, the property we've established is roughly 126 acres. It's within the agricultural 1 zoning district. Under the current policy, the applicant could propose division into 10 or 12 acre lots. They could propose development under a major site plan with 1 acre lots under the Ag 1. They could propose a PUD rezoning with transects and some of the TVC guidelines and propose approximately 234 units. What's before you is a proposal to rezone to the planned town village, proposing 375 units. And so the TVC does provide a great deal of flexibility. And so the statement that was referenced earlier of you could hand the policy to 10 different planners and they'd come up with 10 different plans, I think that's very much true in that there's a lot of options. You can design a very, very rural project that has farming, equestrian activities, a golf course, or you can propose a very dense village and neighborhood that is intended to be walkable and close to commercial, close to civic spaces, have a lot of public open spaces and parks. And so this project is trying to adapt the TVC to a higher density or 375 units. And so that trade-off, the ask to increase density, to gain those additional units, comes with obligations in the TVC to improve water quality, to improve open spaces. In this instance, they're electing to pursue restoration of habitat, but it also looks for the infrastructure to support it. As we know, the North County area has very minimal paved roads. Indrio Road, which was widened and invested in by the state, that's the major roadway outside of the interchange with I-95. So the TVC does put the obligation on the developers over time to build that robust infrastructure network to support new communities. And so that's part of that trade-off. More density comes more obligations to be able to support those new residents and the quality of life that we're trying to achieve in our community. So I think, again, that's why staff has presented the positions this evening in the report as well of some of the trade-offs and some of those core principles of the TVC, but to some of the other alternatives, the density could be notably or dramatically less, and they wouldn't have some of the same obligations that staff's pointed out in the report.
And so that's where I go, like, what's the, is that a benefit or a negative? Because we're pushing the density up because there is more cost to projects. But let's just say that they paved to Emerson where the entrance is. who's responsible for paving the rest of the way? Would that be the project that comes in on the other side of the road? They have to finish the rest? I mean,
Arguably, Commissioner, Vice Chair Slay, that would be the obligation of either the public or a future developer. And so in the short term, it would be a dead end. The same thing with the east-west road that's on our right-of-way protection map. They would be eligible at some point in the future for impact fee credits when that facility is open and functional for the outward public as more of an east-west thoroughfare. But this plan proposes to stop it short of Seminole. Therefore, in the short term, it would serve the residents of this community and not the broader public.
and so what would the long-term plan for Seminole Road be then?
That, in theory, would continue to connect all the way south to Immokalee or Immokalee Road, serving as an east-west between St. Lucie Boulevard and Johnston Road and the inevitable airport connector. Seminole Road, because if you head north to Indrio, that's landing right around the Lakewood Park Elementary. There was a concept of eventually bringing Seminole north, connecting to Fort Pierce Boulevard and the streets on the east side of Waterstone, to where you'd have walkability to school, you'd have walkability to other neighborhoods, and other options to where we're not loading up every signalized intersection.
So if you look at Seminole Road between Airport and Indrio, is it even capable to meet county standards? Or it would have to be, we'd have to get some land to do that?
So Vice Chair Slade, county standards, I think there's the ultimate complete standards and specifications, and then there's hybrids of that. So the tiers of goals, a 60-foot right-of-way section with a 2-lane paved roadway with curb and gutter and concealed stormwater. There's a 70-foot right-of-way section, which is the minimum for swales, paved 2-lane roadway, sidewalks, where both sections can accommodate it. When we talk about larger roadways, major collectors, arterials, we start to head into an 80-foot right-of-way because maybe we have a larger sidewalk, bike lanes, multi-use paths, up to 200 feet if you want a boulevard or eventually, Virginia Avenue or Crosstown Parkway. Seminole, currently we have roughly 50 feet of right-of-way. You can establish a paved 2-lane roadway, swales, but you're not typically going to have sidewalks on both sides. You may not even achieve sidewalk on one side. If you have a canal, you need some space for a guardrail if we don't have a safety zone. But I think about various projects. Look at Hartman Road where it's a 2-lane paved roadway. There's no sidewalks. Ideally, we would at least have a shoulder on roadways like Jenkins and Hartman and Seminole because somebody needs to pull off to the side of the road because an ambulance needs to come by, or God forbid somebody's on a motorized scooter or a bicycle and needs a little bit more space when folks are driving fast. I think there's a lot of ways to adapt. And as we talked about, presently, Emerson Avenue is a constrained right-of-way. We have a wireless tower that was constructed between 2001, 2004 out there. It's close to that right-of-way. They're looking to make accommodations to facilitate that as their primary entrance, but it wouldn't be a full-fledged county specification roadway where it would only have sidewalk on one side, a bike lane on one side, and it would be very compact.
I don't know. Okay.
If Commissioner
ma'am.
Slade, Chair Benner, the plan for Seminole Road at this point is not to acquire additional right-of-way. It's to pave the road within the 50-foot right-of-way.
Yeah, with no sidewalk, wouldn't have a bike lane type situation.
Correct.
Right.
If it could accommodate a sidewalk, yes. If not, no.
Well, and so that's where,
50 feet, even if you have a 12-foot travel lane, that 12 and 12 is 24. That leaves us another 24 feet before we get to the 50-foot right-of-way.
and so the hard part of that for me is if the TVC is all about connectivity and walking and closeness, and then we're building main roads that don't have sidewalks on them or bikes lanes, that kind of contradicts what the TVC is to begin with, right?
Well, it's also, the TVC is also about making sure that the required infrastructure gets constructed and that those costs don't get passed on to the general property tax.
Because I would think that, like, for me, I'm not a fan of the connectivity from one project to another project where these people can drive into your neighborhoods and things like that. I'm not a fan of that. I can understand the thought process behind it, but I'm just not a fan of, because now you do that interconnectivity where you're talking about, now the next plan's got to match up somehow with that to get that going, and now the neighbors over here can go hang out with the neighbors over there, and I know that's the thought process, but in theory, that's great, but it's not.
And it's
Right.
also to provide alternatives to the main thoroughfare so that they don't get overloaded, so that we don't have to keep widening the other roads.
But who keeps, you have 2 clubhouses in this project, who keeps the next neighbors over from coming and using their facilities and their amenities and things like that? So that's where I'm not a fan of, right?
And go back to the comprehensive plan that said public roads.
Yeah.
If those were public roads, if all the internal roads to our project were public roads, it makes a lot more sense to have them interconnected. Right now, I think what you're saying, Mr. Slay, is that you have a development to the south that has homeowner association paying for their roads. What if everybody in there starts using the development to the north roads, and it starts impacting their roadways? Well, the homeowner association to the north then has to pay to fix roads that they had no reason to destroy, or
Right,
they didn't
you-
destroy. But if it was all public, remember the comprehensive plan policies, everybody would pay taxes, everybody would pay to have the roads repaired. That's why I think it's important when you start looking at all of these policies about interconnection and the terms of public right-of-way. I just wonder if the comp plan of the TVC is being implemented, interpreted, whichever you want to say correctly, because some of these things don't add up.
Right. And so if I'm in this project that you're building and I'm paying my fees to the HOA for that, why does the next neighborhood and the next one after that and all that get to drive on these roads that we're paying for and I'm ultimately responsible for? So that's my thought process. I'm done.
All right. That's it for the applicant. This is a public hearing. I'd like to open up public comment at this time. If there's any member of the public that would like to address the board, come on down. Please say your name and address into the mic for the record. And they will put you on a timer and make sure we just address the board. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Lori Diamond. My address is 4695 Seminole Road. If you could bring up your thing, because you're not even addressing my little corner, the northwest section. If you look at the northwest
Ma'am.
section.
Ma'am, can you please, you got to go in the mic because it's recorded for the record.
You're the jog
Yeah.
out at the north.
The northwest corner there, okay? No one's addressed that. Okay? This area has historically been a rural buffer zone. It's agricultural farmland. The rezoning of this land that sits outside the urban service boundary needs to remain rural for St. Lucie County. Okay? They addressed bringing water and sewer in. How does that affect the 2 existing properties on the north side of the premises that they want to build on? We're on well water. How does that affect me? What about the runoff from the rain on the roofs, from the paved roads? How does that affect my property? I have fruit trees. I have animals. Why should I be affected by this pond, this lake that they want to put in? It's not fair to me. What kind of buffer zone? What kind of perimeter boundary walls are they going to put up to separate my little acreage from their big, planned community that they want to do? Changing AG1 to PTV is incompatible within the existing area. Adding the number of units that they want destroys the rural buffer. I have not seen the developer's infill compatibility study, so I don't know how that affects the 2 properties that are on the Seminole side, because we are severely affected by it. The South Florida Water Management District has a high-density village layout which creates substantial impervious surfaces. The roofs, the concrete roads, which accelerates stormwater runoff and increases flooding risks for existing rural properties. So I would like to know how these developers plan on protecting us from all of this. Okay? They also, the proposed development will generate concentrated noise, pollution, and traffic right next to existing quiet rural boundaries. There are safety issues involved. What about the fire and police, the ambulances, the schools? How are we going to be able to tolerate having this infrastructure put in when we don't have enough for ourselves as is? Indrio Road has already projected to reach maximum capacity. We need the Planning and Zoning Commission to reject the plat until proven that local roads can safely handle hundreds of daily neighborhood commuter trips. How many more developments are necessary? There is no need to overlay the area, the community. When is enough enough? I'd like to know also the water and sewer that they're bringing in. How does that affect my home?
Thank you very much. Do we have any other member of the public that would like to address the board on this agenda item? Come on down. And then name and address for the record, please.
How are y'all doing today? Justin Harrison, 6705 Paso Robles Boulevard, Lakewood Park. I come up here and talk a lot up here about the TVC and the North County side of things. And honestly, the TVC isn't developer friendly at all. And I don't think it ever was planned to be developer friendly. You know, there's a lot of property in St. Lucie County and the other areas that, you know, don't have the overlay of the TVC that, you know, you can go out and do all kinds of crazy things with developments and throwing PUDs together in. So, but I think that the main reason that the TVC was put into place was to do exactly what it's doing right now, is to hold back some development, prevent the level of density to come in, and ultimately it does cost the developers more money. But what it really does is it hurts the landowners, is what it really does, is because then your land isn't going to be worth $100,000 an acre, $150,000 an acre. It's going to be worth 50 or 45 because of the development cost that's going to go into it for the density, as well as the infrastructure and the green space and the countryside lakes and things of that nature. So I think that it's a thing where we're trying to fight something for the means of the bigger dollar at the end of the day for the land sales. But again, I'm a real estate broker, so I understand how all of that kind of stuff works. But again, that was the reason for the TVC in the first place, was to prevent a tradition, to prevent Port St. Lucie having more of that open space, connectivity of the roadways and such as that. Now, you know, with that, the new road that they're proposing to put in there, you know, it on the original grid of what the TVC overlays is, you know, it's more of a straight grid pattern type of road throughout the whole TVC. And I noticed with this, they, you know, added a little bit of curve, moved a little further south, moved the other end a little further north. You know, how does that look over the long term of when that road becomes fully connected from, you know, Johnson Road all the way to Kings Highway, and now that becomes more of a main highway, and, you know, according to the map here, you got houses that are going to be sitting right on that road with a little roundabout there. So what does that look long term from now, whenever all of the rest of this area is actually developed out and you have people that are sitting there? Does that turn into something like a Port St. Lucie Boulevard once was at one point in time, right? And then, you know, with that being said, with the grids and the roads and the traffic, are we leaving enough buffer so whenever we do overload all of our roads, because that's the direction we're all headed right now, is just let's put more people in here, is what happens in 30 years from now when we need to take it from a 2-lane road to a 4-lane road, right? What happens when we have to take it from a 4-lane road to a 6-lane road? You know, does that mean that those people that had their houses there built and thought they were going to be able to live there for the next 30, 40 years, they're going to have their houses eminent domain tore out and, you know, put a 4-lane road in? So, you know, that's I think what the biggest thing with the TVC is that we don't run into those types of areas. So I don't think this is a situation where we need to try to figure out how to do away with the TVC. I think that what it really needs to do is that the landowners, the developers, and everybody else that's trying to work inside of this area has to understand that things may not be worth as much money as they want it to be worth because of the past planning for the area. Now again, this is pertaining to the TVC because of what it is, right? If we were talking, you know, Okeechobee Road, we were talking Midway Road, we were talking, you know, areas that didn't have this level of an overlay on it, the conversations would be totally different. I think that's all I got for this today.
Thank you very much. Any other members of the public? Seeing none, we'll close public comment, come back to the board for discussion and/or a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Odell.
again, this, this item fails to meet staff's standard of approval. A lot of the issues were LDC compliance, which is beyond the nature and scope of what we're discussing tonight. So per staff's suggestion, I move that we continue this item until our August 20th, 2026 meeting to enable the applicant and staff to make refinements to the proposed plan.
We have a motion to continue to the August meeting. Do we have a second?
I guess my thought process with that is, what do we want, if we're postponing it, what are they working on that's gonna bring it to approval? So where you're at right now, if they go back and work on this for a month, what's the goal that they're trying to accomplish before it comes back in front of us again? To meet the standards of staff, is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to clarify.
To meet
what you're saying.
to meet the standards of the Land Development Code.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Lowndes.
I'll second it for the point of discussion. I'll second the motion for the point to have some more discussion with it.
So you want to discuss it before we vote?
Yes. I'd like to ask Mr. Curry, can Mr. Curry return and answer a few more questions, or is that over?
We can make it quick and then vote.
Mr. Curry, there's a few things that I'd like, and I think it helps with the staff. Where is your school bus provisions and turnarounds in your development?
The property is not proposed to be gated at this time, so we would probably have it picked up at the community or the recreation facility, whichever it may be. This is a preliminary development plan. That's something we could definitely look at. The school board does like to have their bus stops off of the main road, and I believe, as the last gentleman, Mr. Harrison, was just talking about, that
Okay.
east-west road could be a major road in the future, so we would probably have it internal to the community.
Would you address the issues that the young lady talked about and buffers for these two pieces of property that are bordering your development? Are you
So-
going to increase that buffer a little bit?
Well, I think we have about 500 feet from her property to where our houses start. So I think it's 500 feet. I think I did a graphic that showed what that separation was there. I think it's a pretty substantial, I mean, it's 505 from there, minus I see the dimension is not exactly where her house is, but that's gonna have, again, it'll have the 15-foot buffer, additional 20 feet of restored habitat, and then it'll have a littoral area and then the lake. The flooding, Mr. Lowndes, you probably know this more than most, after this development comes in, it'll probably be better than it is today from a flooding perspective, because in the ag, sometimes the ditches overflow and they can go off, we call it historic flows. When it's a new project like this, I always tell my clients and people that think of it as like a swimming pool. There's gonna be a berm built around the perimeter of this site that's gonna hold all the water in. The water before the water runs off site, it'll run out the outfall pipe that we're gonna.
You've got to contain your water
Yes, sir.
for an outflow.
That's correct. So drainage usually only gets better when development
All
is
right,
adjacent to your property.
address the gentleman's piece down here in the corner, please, for buffer. You feel like there's
Yes, sir.
enough-
I did
enough-
get a text. It's
Mr.
about
Curry.
40, it's about 43 feet, on the south side, which is here. It's 43 feet there of green space buffer, again, buffer, 15-foot buffer, restored habitat, and 43 feet here.
You
So
got
it's-
enough landscape buffer to block your development from him?
Yes, sir. We are required to plant, like I said, the 15-foot landscape buffer, which is only 15 foot, a tree every 30 feet with a hedge. But in addition, we've provided the additional spaces called restored habitat, which will have a planting plan that's pretty elaborate for this area. So it will be a pretty dense forest.
So your
the first 15 foot.
landscape buffer around that piece of property is only 30 feet?
It's 43 feet overall. Yes, sir, 43 feet.
I sure would like to see a little bit more.
I think that we have to look at the continuation, Mr. Chair, sorry.
Yes,
You
go
know,
ahead,
with
Mr.
that,
Chair.
when that road continues over to Seminole, close to Seminole,
I'm sorry.
it's going to be a much,
I didn't talk about the north piece. You're correct.
Right. Just at that edge.
Mr. Lowndes, this roadway configuration that we have here, one of the individuals talked about it was on the map, it was straight. The TVC allows us to differentiate and switch that road up and down depending on, I think it's up to 1,300 feet, Corey, is that, that's the
With the
number?
county engineer's
Yeah.
approval.
So we've always proposed that roadway there because it lines up with the 4540 Kings Highway property. That's where they located the road. So that lines up directly with a property over off of Kings Highway. So we've looked at this pretty extensive. And then we've brought the roadway back up to the north to where it lines up with the urban services area on the other side. So we think that this configuration adds a little bit of interest in the roadway instead of it just being straight. And I believe it has been signed off on by staff to have this configuration. So the roadway on the north, it'll have a right-of-way. It's an 80-foot right-of-way, I believe, that's just adjacent to the gentleman's property. So that's always been that. If I had to pick a residential neighbor or a road neighbor, I think I'd somewhat pick a road neighbor, especially for this road, because I don't think it's ever going to be that significant of a roadway. So you can speak with him. I'm sorry, public hearing's closed, but that road was in that configuration when we met with him, and he didn't seem to have a problem with it at that time.
Thank you.
All right, any other discussion about the motion to continue? Either continue, approve, or deny. We need a motion for one of the three.
So in the discussion part of this, I don't think this is in a place where we need to hold it up anymore. I just think we need to put what our concerns are and then let the county commission bang it out.
Mr. Chair, we have a motion to continue and a second.
So we want to call the vote for the he's technically
So the motion on the table is to come back to the next meeting?
for August. So if that's it for discussion on the motion, Madam Secretary, call the roll. A vote of yes would be to continue till August.
Commissioner Lowndes?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Neese?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Odell?
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Chair Slay?
No, ma'am.
Chair Benner?
Yes, ma'am.
It's continuing.
All right, motion to continue carries. Thank you very much, Ms. Irene and
Thank you.
staff. Do we have any workshops or other business?
Chair Benner, not scheduled for this evening. No, sir.
All right, want to shout out Mr. Ben in the back. I've noticed that our half-cent sidewalks tax has started the sidewalk fill-in on Walton Road by the Portsmouth Lucie Hospital, which is awesome. Cool. So if nothing else, we have a meeting planned tentatively for August, I guess, because we at least have one agenda item.
Mr. Benton, can we
sir.
get a speaker put in the restroom?
Right here.
Hmm?
With a microphone or without?
Get some WD-40 for the door?
What?
Can we get some WD-40 for the door?
Yeah, that'd help.
It's only been squeaking for like 6 years now.
No, this will walk with you.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to put that damn thing in my hearing aids just to go in there and take a whiz. We used to have a speaker in there.
All right, we got a motion to adjourn?
Yep, second.
All right, so move.